Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. On this channel we talk about all things fandom and we talk about them in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, we're so glad you're here. This is also Sci-Fi Sunday on this channel where we talk about all things sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book related. And today we have to talk about Alien Earth. Some new details have come out I wanted to discuss with you, so let's jump right into it. Alright everybody, so we have to talk about Alien Earth because some new information has dropped that I need to talk to you guys about. Information that changes everything. Kind of the reason they're going out on this mission. All of that has been revealed and it is more epic than I ever thought it could be. It makes me that much more excited that this series is a thing. So we know that the series will take place 2 years before the events of the first Alien film. So 2 years before the events of the first Alien film. And apparently there are some companies that are running things on Earth. They're kind of running things and trying to have all the technology, and they're making synthetics. We're going to read from a couple different articles. The first one is Bloody Disgusting. And then we're going to read a little bit from a Variety article because both of these give you some information that is very useful to understanding exactly what this series is going to be about. Because it says, Alien Earth will premiere with the horror series' first 2 episodes on August 12th at 8 p.m. on FX and Hulu in the US the next day and Disney Plus internationally. New episodes will follow weekly on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. through September 23rd. Now that's great because that tells us when the series is going to take place, and I'm cool with that because we live in a time where we're used to binge watching everything, being able to just sweep through an entire season in a day or two. Just binge watch it till we're done. And a lot of streaming networks seem to be kind of going back on that. They seem to be returning to the mode of classic TV, where it's not necessarily all about being able to binge watch everything, where they want to leave you on that cliffhanger. So you might watch an episode or 2, but you're going to eventually have to stop and wait an entire week. So I think that's a good thing here. I'm down with that. I love that idea. I do love the feel of having to wait for that cliffhanger as much as I hate it too. So then it goes on to tell us the official plot synopsis. And here it is. 5 corporations: Prodigy, Weyland Yutani, Lynch, Dynamic, and Threshold wield the power of the nations, and the advancements in technology provide the promise of a new tomorrow. When a mysterious space vessel crash lands on Earth, a young woman and a ragtag group of soldiers make a fateful discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat, the Xenomorph. And this part comes to us from Variety. Variety actually tells us the name of our main character and kind of elaborates on what her deal is. And it's not what you think. She is not part of Weyland Yutani like you would think she is. No, not at all. She is something completely different. And it says, Wendy and a ragtag group of soldiers make a discovery that puts them face to face with the planet's greatest threat. It says, in this corporate era, cyborgs, humans with biological and artificial parts, and synthetics, humanoid robots with artificial intelligence, exist alongside humans. But the game has changed when the founder and CEO of Prodigy Corporation unlocks a new technological advancement: hybrids, human robots infused with a human consciousness. The first hybrid prototype is going to be Wendy. This marks a new dawn for the race for immortality. After Weyland Yutani's spaceship collides with Prodigy City, Wendy and other hybrids encounter mysterious life forms more terrifying than anyone could have ever imagined. So right there, we know a few things about this series. We know that the ship that crashes down is actually something that belongs to Weyland-Yutani, and that's kind of a big thing. This is a game changer. They've been doing something out there that maybe they shouldn't have. Prodigy has been making some technological advances, and a Weyland-Yutani ship crashes into their area. Now they are going out on this mission. So I think it's going to be cyborgs, as well as some synthetics and maybe a few humans going on this mission, and it's going to be kind of funny. I love their use of the word ragtag in this, because there's always a ragtag group of heroes. Every superhero team you'll ever meet, every movie you'll ever meet that has a group of heroes that are placed together that have to solve a problem, it's always a ragtag group of heroes. Have you ever noticed that? It's become like one of those cliches. They never bring all the heroes that have all their crap together. They're going to be able to solve this problem with no problems at all. It's always got to be that group that's just kind of thrown together, and they have to solve the problem. And I love that cliche. I love it because it always works. It never fails. Even if the rest of the show isn't very good, you're going to find yourself liking at least one or two of these characters. And that's kind of the good thing about having a group of heroes that you're throwing together to solve a situation. You're usually going to find one you like. I do love the fact that there are more aliens in this that aren't part of the xenomorphs, and that Weyland-Yutani has apparently done something along the lines of traversing space to go to the darkest regions of space and find these aliens and bring them there to experiment on to better their technology, because it's all about technology. This series is, it seems like that's going to be one of the big things that they're going to play into, is all of these companies want the technology that the other ones have, and they want to be the ones with the most cake, if you will. They want to be the ones that are going to control everything through their use of technology. I think that's actually something that, as we get into the AI type of environment that we're getting into now, is actually something that a lot of people fear is going to happen. So they're kind of getting to play into modern times a little bit, and I like that. I think that's a good way for them to do it, and I think that has a lot of potential. I do want to know about some of these aliens, though. They have a couple of these aliens that they've shown just a little bit. They haven't shown them much, but each one of them is supposed to be from the darkest regions of space. So no matter how cute, no matter how small, no matter what, these are going to be aliens that are worth a fight. And as I said in my past video, I thought it would be cool if you had a group of synthetics that was going on this team. I now kind of think maybe I'm closer to right than I thought I was before, because this isn't just a group of synthetics. However, it's probably going to be one or two humans, but then everybody's going to have these cybernetic implants. I think that's cool too. So you're going to have a group of people that are kind of a bit tougher than your average Marine or whatever come at these things. And if they're not going to solve this problem, you know that by the time we get to the actual events of the movie, you know how that all turned out. So I think this is very interesting that they are doing it this way, and it's not actually going to take place with the Weyland-Yutani company. That's not going to be a thing. I think that that's awesome. I'm sure we'll see them come in. They'll probably be an enemy, maybe even a force to be reckoned with. Maybe they have their own team coming in. The opportunities that they've gotten themselves into with this series have now become quite limitless. I was worried about if this series could go into the future, if it could have more than one season, but I totally think it can. If this series goes on for 2 years, then you realize we are into the events of the original Alien movie. So in that way, I kind of have a theory as to why they didn't use the Weyland-Yutani company. And that is because if they did, then we wouldn't be able to follow the same group of people throughout the series. So they had to come up with a way that they could use a different company to allow us to follow that company on its missions rather than to give us the same old company. And that's a good thing too, because that makes it to where they are able to sort of continue, and they broaden the mythos of the Alien world. They brought in the mythos of the Alien franchise lore. And that is so awesome. I'm down for that. I love it. And like I said in my last video about this, I said, I want to know about these other aliens, and could these other aliens possibly play a threat into some sort of future as well? Could we get to see some aliens that we never got to see before that actually are a threat, that actually do make a difference? One of them might even be able to take out a xenomorph all by itself, and that would be cool. Now, I do have another theory about the series, one that I think isn't quite as far-fetched anymore, because the new Predator movie is going to have that Weyland-Yutani connection. We saw it in the trailer. If you look really close, you see it in the trailer. Yes, it is there. Now, with that being said, it doesn't seem so far-fetched that this series could have that same connection, that we could be getting a Predator connection into this series as well. Now, my original thought when I heard about this was possibly that this might even be a Predator ship, but we now know it belongs to Weyland-Yutani, so that's not a thing. But what if there are Predators in this universe, or what if one is on the ship itself? I don't know that we've seen every single alien that's on that ship yet in the trailer. We've seen a couple of them. We've gotten a hint. We've gotten a glimpse, but we don't know what's actually out there and what the series has in mind. And that makes me 1000% down for this. And the more I hear about the series, the more and more I can't wait. So I had to talk to you guys about all this information that's come out, tell you about the synopsis that has been confirmed, tell you about kind of these other 5 companies and what roles they might actually end up playing. And I want to hear from you guys about it. Do you think that this is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think that we're going to follow this company into the future and possibly 2 or 3 years or 4 years of this series and go into the events of Alien only through this other company's eyes? What are your thoughts about this? Do you think it's going to fail? Do you think it's going to succeed? Whatever you guys are thinking, I want to hear from you. As always, we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you're leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of the conversation. Make sure you're hitting that like button. It's free. It helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Then Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button while you're down there. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. Then, friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows that fandom is family.